You know, we've all felt it, but we hardly ever talk about it. So today we're going to dive deep into the whole world of silence, the good, the bad, and well, the really powerful. Okay, picture this. You're in a great conversation. Everything's flowing, and then nothing. Just dead air. Your heart starts racing, right? Your brain just goes completely blank, and you're desperately trying to think of anything to say. That feeling, that's what we're talking about. Pure, unfiltered awkwardness.
So what is actually going on inside our brains during that awful pause? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of that panic.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? That frantic urge to just say something. It's not about being a smooth talker. It's a total defense mechanism. We think we're trying to fill the silence, but what we're really doing is running away from the anxiety that the quiet suddenly shoves right in our face.
So here's the official take. An awkward silence isn't just about no one talking. It's about breaking a rule we never even knew we had. Think of conversation like a game of catch. There's a rhythm, a back and forth. When someone drops the ball and the game stops, that's when our internal alarm bells start ringing, loudly.
But get this, it's not just some weird social habit. This feeling, this discomfort, it's actually biological. It's something that's hardwired deep, deep inside our brains.
And the research here is wild. The line between a totally normal pause and one that sets off all our alarms is razor thin. We're talking about a gap of just 200 to 300 milliseconds. That's basically just enough time to take a breath. Anything over that, even just a little bit, and our brain starts screaming, "Houston, we have a problem." In fact, it's been shown that just 4 seconds of silence is enough to make us feel genuinely bad, like distressed, hurt, even rejected. 4 seconds, that's it. It's incredible when you think about it. So here's the key. Your brain, it can't tell the difference. It doesn't know if the conversation just paused for a second or if you're literally being kicked out of the tribe. To that ancient primal part of our wiring, any break in that social connection feels like a direct threat. And this all goes way, way back. It's like an evolutionary hangover. For our ancient ancestors, getting kicked out of the group wasn't just embarrassing, it was a death sentence. And our brains? They haven't forgotten that. So they're still on high alert, firing off those distress signals at the tiniest hint of social trouble, like a conversation that suddenly goes quiet.
Okay, so we've got this ancient fear baked into our DNA. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Our modern world is taking that fear and cranking it up to 11, because we've basically been trained to be addicted to constant noise.
There's a name for this, actually. The design distraction economy. It's a fancy way of saying our entire world is built to interrupt us. Every single notification, every new tab, that endless scroll, it's all designed to shatter our attention for profit. And in the process, it trains our brain to need that constant stream of information.
And what happens? We start depending on these little hits of stimulation, these micro-stimuli, like a crutch. The second we feel even a tiny bit bored or uncomfortable, what do? We grab our phones, right? It's an automatic reflex to escape our own thoughts.
And all this constant noise, it comes at a price. It leaves behind this kind of mental residue. And you can see what that looks like. We're more restless, we have less focus, we're more impatient. Our brains get so used to the chaos that when we finally get a moment of real quiet, it doesn't feel peaceful. It feels threatening.
So, what do? Our brains are freaking out and the world is constantly yelling at us. Where does that leave us? Well, what if we flip the script? What if we started to see silence not as a weakness, but as a genuine superpower?
It's all about the reframe. We can literally change silence from being a threat to being a tool. I mean, think about it. What if a quiet moment between two people wasn't a sign that something's wrong, but a sign of complete trust, that you're so comfortable you don't need to talk? Suddenly, it's not a failure, it's a goal.
And this quote, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? Silence is not empty. When we finally stop scrambling to fill every single second with noise, we create space. Space for the important stuff, for that second thought to actually surface. Space to connect with people in a way that's just impossible when there's constant chatter.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's get practical. Here's a little toolkit for how you can start making silence your ally instead of your enemy.
All right, first up, let's talk about day-to-day chats. You can totally head off those awkward pauses before they even start. The trick is to stop asking questions that can be answered with just yes or no. Instead, ask questions that get people telling a story. And when it's your turn, don't just give a one-word answer.
Go a little deeper. And then, this is crucial, pass the ball back with a question of your own. It's a simple change that makes a huge difference.
But okay, this is where it gets really powerful. This isn't just about avoiding awkward moments. You can actually use silence strategically, as a tool. A tool for influence. I mean, listen to this quote from a former FBI hostage negotiator. He says being comfortable with silence when other people aren't is basically a secret weapon.
Think about it. You're in a business meeting. You ask a big question, and then you just wait. Don't say anything. You'll be shocked who decides to speak up. Or in a negotiation, state your price, and then nothing. The other person feels all this pressure to fill the void, and it completely shifts the power. Even if someone asks you a really tough question, taking a moment to think before you answer doesn't make you look weak, it makes you look confident.
So at the end of the day, it's really all about this. Mastering silence isn't about controlling other people, it's about controlling yourself, your own discomfort. When you can just sit there, totally calm in the quiet, while everyone else is squirming, that's real confidence. And that confidence is incredibly persuasive.
So next time that conversation hits a lull, what are you going to do? Instead of panicking, what if you just didn't? What if you saw it as an opportunity? A chance to think, a chance to connect, a chance to lead with a kind of quiet strength. The real goal here isn't just to shut up, it's to find your power in the quiet. So the question is, how will you use it?